If you ever ask yourself, is energy healing scientifically proven, and how can you use your personal energy to make good decisions in your life? You don't want to miss today's episode. Today, we have an award-winning scientist who is going to talk about science behind energy healing. Hello and welcome. Today we have a very special guest, Dr. Cornelia Kawann, who is an award-winning scientist, bestseller author, and an energy healer. Cornelia, welcome to today's episode. I'm so happy to have you here.
Oh, thank you for this really amazing introduction. Thank you so much, Nina, for having me in your Shira podcast. I'm so excited. And also warm welcome to your audience. And I'm so much looking forward to our exchange today.
Thank you, Cornelia, for being here on today's show. Before we dive into the world of energy healing, I really want to know what inspired you to dive into the world of energy healing, because you are an award-winning scientist and you are working among top people in Swiss electrical industry. So that's really a fact-driven industry. You base everything on the science. But what really inspired you to become an energy healer? Can you share more about that?
Sure. And, the thing is, actually, I didn't get really inspired, but the short answer is life came in between, right? As with so many of us, yeah. And so, as you already said, I was completely sucked up with my scientific world in the energy industry, and for I can say almost all my life, all energy was just electric energy, and there was nothing else. And then, as I said, life came in between. And what do I mean with it? I really became very, very sick. And the thing is that it kind of really, took me off guard and was not prepared for that, of course, as many other people as well. And then you look into different, talk with traditional medicine, and then the outline I got there, the path they prepared for me, I just, felt deeply in my heart, I just can't do this. But of course I panicked, and then I remembered, as an engineer, there are always more than one solution to one problem. So there must be other solutions out there. I just need to find them. So I started a lot of research, and then tons of books later. Then that was the moment when I discovered, there is the quantum field. And there are different healing methodologies, and one of them I discovered that was based on frequencies. And as an electric engineer, I know what a frequency is. I know what energy is. So I started experimenting with this method and with these frequencies. And actually, how it worked, it made completely sense to me, how it's similar to this healing method was similar to how a radio functions. So I completely understood how it worked. And so I got started. And then first, of course, I experimented with myself. And then my daughter showed up and asked, can you do something? And then other family members and friends. And that's how things kind of evolved. And I just figured out, yes, there is a completely other world of energy. And it seems that I even have, the skills to use it. So for me, it's more now to have the complete view of energy, with electric energy in our social life, and this personal energy that's driving our personal life.
Thank you so much for sharing your inspiring story. I completely resonate with that, because I also started doing energy healing when I was really, really sick, and when Western medicine couldn't help me, I had nothing else to lose. And I remember the moment when I took phone to schedule a call with my coach, and in just 2 sessions, I was pain-free. And that shifted my whole reality. And sometimes you really need just to try it to really experience yourself the power of it. and then start looking for scientific proofs that this is really working. And we want to answer the question that so many people have: is energy healing scientifically proven?
That's a very good question. And I think it depends what you see as science, because, from biology, I think Dr. Joe Dispenza already had proven a lot how energy, or, just your thoughts and their energy, what they have an impact on just producing proteins or hormones, and how you can heal yourself. On the other side, I think there is all this work in the quantum field, and Professor Dr. Anton Zeilinger, he just got the Physics Nobel Prize this year for his work in the quantum field. And so for me, and I could share a lot of stories how Einstein worked on all this, because at that time the quantum field was not known, and he couldn't explain it, why things worked the way they did. So he in a way said it's the Spuksche Fernbeziehung. That's how he called it. I don't know the English name for it. And but in the 50s or beginning of 60s at CERN, which is located in Switzerland, they have proven that this quantum field exists, and this is with unlimited energy, and everything happens there faster than the speed of light. It's in that moment. That's kind of already scientifically proven. And I think, yes, in our mind, because we grew up in the world of Newton and everything that doesn't, we can't touch it, we can't see it, or we can't measure it, just doesn't exist. But I think, now we already know that we are walking battery. We have this electromagnetic field around us. And I think even if you don't see it, we can feel it. And this is something that is most important about it. And even electric energy, we can't see it, and we can't touch it, but we accept it that it's there because we can measure it. And that's what I find, researched as well. There is actually a unit how you can measure your personal energy as well. So in a way, it's scientifically proven.
How we can do it? Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes, actually, the unit, most people don't know it, and it's a unit for the quality of personal energy, and it's called Bovis. It was discovered by André Bovis, was a French radiologist, and he used it in a way to measure the quality of food. But we can also use it for your personal energy. And do you want me to show your audience the?
Yes.
Okay, this then, because I what I really try to empower people is that they can do many things on their own. Working on your energy, of course, you can go to a Reiki session or a coach, and I think this is very, very powerful, and sometimes you need that. But I think it's also very important that you can work always with your own energy, and it's natural to us. And so I'm working with the kinesiological muscle test, and I call it the standing method because it's easiest to be done when you're standing. And are you doing it with me, or should I just show it?
Can you please show it? Thank you.
Okay, you're stuck in your studio. In your studio setting.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm standing already. And so the thing is that, I can show it, and you can do it in sitting, right? So we can do it together. And the easiest thing is, we are using your body as a kind of a pendulum. And in order to communicate with your body, you need to calibrate your body. So you need to know what is yes and what its no is. And once you know that, then you can, ask it a lot of questions, and you can even, measure your Bovis values with it. Are you ready?
Yes.
Still with me? Okay, let's get started. Okay, so I think when you're doing it the first time, it's the easiest if you close your eyes. You don't have to close them, but it's easier to concentrate on what's going on and be more in the flow. And then you just can put your hands in, on your belly, And take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Okay. And then you just ask the question, give me a yes. Maybe you can't see it, so I turn sideways. Give me a yes. So what happens with my body is that it turns or tilts forward. That's my yes. Then you can, but your yes can be also turning backwards, or it can be on the side. It's really, it depends what your body, how it's reacting. I have seen it, sometimes it's rotating the body. Just be open what happens. And on the, then you go straight upwards, close your eyes, and then you say, give me a no. And for me, my no is in turn my body tilts backwards. But as I said, can be anything. And now if you want to measure you can then check, in a way I could ask, is it evening? No, the sun is shining, so it's a no. And is it Tuesday? No, it's not, because today is Wednesday. Or is it night? No, it's not. So you can ask with a couple of questions to get familiar with the technique, until you, asking questions, you in a way know the answer. Yeah, then you can also say, my name is Cornelia. Yes. My name is Paul. No. So these are some questions you can train and get connected with your body. And then as the next step, then you can check your own Bovis values. And this is in a way, you start the same way. So, but before we start, Nina, what's your yes and your no?
My yes is forwards and no is backwards.
Okay. Yeah, for my daughter, it's exactly the opposite, and it can be also like I say like this. Yeah, that's the fun part. It should be fun, right?
Yeah, I also want to encourage listeners or and our audience just to try it because it's so much fun to practice. You don't have to have it perfect at the beginning. Practice when with the small questions and unimportant questions. Is it a sunny day today? Is it raining outside? And like Cornelia said, is it Tuesday or Wednesday? And then you can start asking like more important questions for you.
Yeah, you can even even when you're in the supermarket, you can ask, should I buy this banana or this one? It's just fun to experiment. Or should I cook potato or rice today? It opens up a new world of answers, right? And of course, you don't always have to follow, right? You always have, you can decide still. But what I've learned after practicing so many years is sometimes, even if I don't like the answer or it doesn't make sense to me, if I follow the advice, in the long term, it always turned out it was a good decision.
Yeah, actually, we always know what's the right decision for us, and very often, as you mentioned, we don't follow it. And I know that in your book, Change Your Energy, Change Your Life, you mentioned how you taught your daughter how to do that method. And she also started practicing it to find out if she's going to have an exam, what type of questions she's going to have. And I was when I was reading your book, I was thinking like, I wish I knew this when I was a student. It would make my life so much lighter, and it would be so much fun to go through university and through school.
Yes, it's always good if you know some answers in advance, right? Or even the questions.
Yeah, I remember when I was at school, we usually came together and used tarot to predict the questions for the exam, but it was more like fun and party for us. We just wanted to find the answers.
Okay, so what was the success rate of your session?
Yeah, we were still young and we were still learning how to use tarot for that. But I want to come back to the question how we can measure our personal energy using standard method. Can you show that to our audience?
Yes, before I get started, and I think it was good that we spoke about how to use the standing method. Um, the thing is that Andre Bovis, he he developed a scale, and his first scale was between 0 and 10,000 bovies. Yeah. And then what he measured in a way is that like normal human beings are around 6,500 to 7,500 bovies. So then you kind of normal health in a way. And what he also found out is that everything you're kind of eating or doing that is below your own bovis value takes energy from you. And if you like eating really healthy food or really kind of special medicine of plants and this has a high bovis value, then it gives your body bovis and energy. And I think this is so, that's why in a way it's important to be aware of your own, where you're standing right now, in order to better figure out what's good for you and your body, and which things or which food you should rather avoid. And this is another personal or very important point. It really is, you're always checking out what's good for you, right? So whatever is good for you doesn't mean it's good for all the other family members or for your kids, yeah, because we are all unique and very special. And I think this is a very important disclaimer. There is no everything fits everything. It's yeah, we are unique and we should always figure out what's good for us.
With the standing method, you ask, is my energy above 7,500 bovies or is it below? And then you get the answer to that.
Yes, we can do it. We can try. We can. I think we can start from 3,000, because when you have 3,000 bovies, then you're normally already quite sick, yeah, or you feel not very energized. So in a way, you can ask, do I have more than 3,000? The same position. You put your hands on your belly. You can close your eyes, and then you can ask the question, do I have more than 3,000? And when you get a yes, then you ask, do I have more than 4,000 bovies? Yes. Do I have more than 5,000 bovies? Okay. Do I have more than 6,000? More than 7,000? A yes. More than 8,000? So we're already in a very good range. More than 9,000? Okay. More than 10,000? More than 11? Do I have more than 12,000 bovies? And then you, in a way, can continue. And then, once it says a no, then you can go like 500 bovies back, and then you can really, if you're interested, find the right value, like saying, okay, if it says now 14,000 and no, then I can say, do I have more than 13,005 or 14,000 and more than 13,500, until I get another no, and then you can back, and then can you really kind of find the exact number if you're interested. But I think in general it's just have a good idea, where you're standing.
Oh, thank you so much, Cornelia. I think this is a very useful method to apply in our everyday life. I want to come back to the beginning of the story of you being an energy healer. When you start implementing all these methods and all these tools, have you ever asked yourself what I'm doing? Like, is this really working? Am I making this up? And how did you become certain that these things work?
I think this is a very important question. Thank you so much for asking it, and I'm quite curious. Your audience, your wonderful audience, has experienced these questions in our head. These little voices themselves. And of course, I did have these questions, and of course, I did have doubts, and especially because I'm coming from the scientific world. But then I always, it's the world of frequencies and energy, and all already Nikola Tesla, he said, if you really want to understand the universe, you need to start thinking in vibrations, frequencies, and energy. And then I always try to remember this, and in a way it's true. If you just break it down and assume, this is just a frequency, any virus or whatever, it's just a frequency. And then if it's just a frequency, I can handle it. And this was kind of but I also had to get myself back to it from the scientific approach and then say, yeah, it's just a frequency. I can work with that. And then, of course, I think, and this is completely natural because of your doubts and that sometimes you're not going all in. Sometimes also not the results are the same as you expect them. Some things work and some things don't work, and then you just have to find out what's the reason behind it. But that's kind of, I'm a scientist, so I always like to drill it down, what's the problem here, and then once I found it, then I can solve it and then move on. And I think it's a lot of trust in yourself, and you just can't have, or I didn't have it right from the beginning, and it builds up, with things that work out, and it's same as in the corporate world or whatever. You start somewhere and then you get appreciation or you get bigger projects, so it's quite similar, and then you build trust in yourself and then more things start working. But I think you are the expert because you are really the energy healer, the very powerful one. So you know that it's with all things, it's like learning a different language. So you just have working on it and trust yourself and build more confidence, and then more things work out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I remember when I started practicing energy healing every single day. At the beginning, you really, really doubt yourself. Am I doing this right? Is this the right method for me? Am I making these things up? And all kind of things. But I remember one of my coaches mentioned to me that I need to practice it and have an alarm on my clock on my phone to remind me to practice it every hour. And it really just takes 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes, couple of minutes, and then it takes a couple of seconds to practice tools. I remember I put it on my phone. I set the alarm on my phone to really start practicing it. And the more I practiced, the better results I saw and the better I felt. And that was for me the proof that these things are working. I just need to practice it. I just need to use it. And there are big differences when you stop using it and when you start applying it again, because you see immediately how your energy shifts, how you feel, how your whole body feels, and how your whole world changes. And that's for me really, really great proof that these things are working. And for me, one of the biggest proof that energy healing is working, I got my health back. When everybody gave up on me and they said, I'm sorry, we cannot help you, I healed in 2 sessions. And that really changed my whole life. Um,
I'm so great. Just one second comment on this. I'm so grateful that that you healed yourself, and that I think is a very important message you just said, because when you really break it down, you only can heal yourself. Nobody else can heal you. Other people can support you, but in a way, the real healing process is always done by you and by your body. And be honest about this. Your body is your expert. There is nobody out there that knows your body as good as your own body. So I think it's so important that you connect with yourself, and trust your body. It's your best friend through your whole life, and really kind of, yeah, get more in connection with your body. And I think this, to also take on the responsibility for your health, for your body, and for your own well-being. We are kind of, me included, we were kind of always brought up, especially when I was a kid, then you go to your mom, heal me, or you put like a band-aid or something on it, and then you go to a doctor. We are kind of always brought up, somebody else needs to do something that you are healing and you are feeling better. And I think this is probably the biggest change in mindset, that you take on your responsibility and say, yes, it's good that other people are supporting me, but I'm responsible for my own health and for my body. So just a disclaimer. Sorry about that.
I agree with you. That was the moment when I really took responsibility and said, like, I will do no matter what to get my health back because I couldn't live it like that one more day. And this is how healing really begins. You take responsibility for your life and you start listening to your body because your body is talking to you all the time, but we are so busy to pay attention to it, and we always neglect our body until body says, I cannot do it this anymore, like pay attention to me. And then we start, oh my god, I need to heal myself. But the thing is, we can do so many things to prevent that state. And it really starts with one simple decision to take responsibility for your life and start working on yourself every single day. Just little by little. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to start and play with these tools, because these tools are so powerful. The more you play, the better outcome it is. And it's just, I noticed that the more playful you are and see this as a really cool game, especially if you play with the kids are really great in this. Uh, and you will see that it's so much fun and that you feel great again. And this is what the message I really want everybody to get, because you can feel better and everything starts with the one decision.
Yeah, and I think, as you said, there are so many tools out there, and there is no right or wrong, or there's not just one tool for everybody. It's, as you said, it's playful experiment, and I think the biggest, people always scared to do something wrong with these tools, but I think the biggest thing is that you just use them and use them in the way they feel right for you, and to develop your own method.
Yes, I agree with that. The more you play with that, the better outcome is, and the more tools you will develop that work for you. And I want to go back to your book, Change Your Energy, Change Your Life, because you have really cool method that you explain in your book. It's called PEEM's Concept. Can you talk a little bit about that, and why is it so important to pay attention to all 5 areas of our life?
And you know what I've learned, because I was always, when I was, before I discovered the bigger world of energy, I was always taking very much care of my body. I was exercising, was eating really good food, sleeping. I was really kind of trying to always take care of my body. And then I really got sick and I didn't understand the world. I was doing everything to look after my body, and then in a way I get sick. And so when I started discovering this world, the quantum world of energy, then I figured out, yes, but it makes completely sense. There, there is not just one energy. There are different layers of energy. And as I said, I called it the PEEMS model. So it's like the physical energy. And this is, of course, the most fundamental one, because if we don't feel physically well and full of energy, then yeah, all other things are a little more difficult and more complicated. And then you have like the um, energetic energy and the emotional energy, the mental energy, and last but not least, also the spiritual energy. And I know, many people, even if they were, as soon as they hear the word spiritual, it's nothing for me. It's something esoteric. But in a way, if you look at it, I think the spiritual energy is the most significant energy, because if you really know or do something you love, you're kind of a perpetuum mobile. You're generating so much energy intrinsically that all the other levels are full of energy by themselves. And so for me, the spiritual energy, of course, there are a lot of parts associated to it, but for me, the most powerful thing is that you, in a way, do things you really love doing. And if you know what this is so powerful.
Yeah, I agree with you. When you're really connected with your soul, and when you do things that your soul wants you to do, you really feel a huge shift in your life.
Yeah, you're the embodiment of that, because you're always sparking. It's because you're doing what you're here for, right? And already Mark Twain, he said, they're the two most important days in your life: the day you're born and the day when you figure out why you're here. And you already figured it out, so congratulations.
Thank you so much. I think for everybody who's looking to connect with their soul, with their true self, is really just start paying attention, start asking yourself, what makes me happy? What would I like to do? And really start setting attentions to connect with the deeper level of your soul and start living your life purpose. And you will see that so many things are going to unfold and your life is going to go into the way that you couldn't even imagine. And this is why I love this work as well, because it changes everything in your life and basically changes how people talk to you, how your relationships, um, your work, and the way how you live your life. And this is why I'm so passionate about this work, and this is why I really want to help amazing healers to spread these messages, because they are so powerful and we can definitely change the world with that. I want to talk a little bit about your book and the terms that you use in your book, energy vampires. What does it actually mean to be an energy vampire, or what does it mean, the term an energy vampire, and why should we pay attention to that?
Oh, that's yeah, especially now that we were so close to Halloween, right? It was just last week, and I think we all know energy vampires, even if we are not always aware of them. And what I understand, the thing is, as I already said before, and your audience, of course, knows that we don't only have this physical body, but also our energy body. And depending on your energy work, this energy body can be between the size of 2 meters or the size of a city. Very charismatic people, they have a huge energy body and you feel them already before they even enter a room. And so, and now, if you just imagine let's say you just have an energy body of 2 or 3 meters, and you're kind of in the U-Bahn or in the bus, and you're standing next to each other, what happens? All these energy bodies intermingle, of course. And there's no other way how this cannot happen. So so in one thing is, so when these energy bodies intermingle, of course you can pick up other energies that do not belong to you, and this can be all of a sudden you feel differently or weird, and but nothing in your outer world actually happens. So this can be like an indirect energy vampire, that some energies, that external energies that do not belong to you, occupy kind of your energy. And on the other side, it's all, I think that's the classic of energy vampires, which is that you talk to, I don't know, a colleague, your boss, or a friend, and every time you talk to this person, because this person is kind of complaining or you making you feel uncomfortable, it's kind of sucking off your energy. And then when you stop the phone call and you put down the receiver, then you kind of feel completely exhausted and drained. These are kind of the classic persons of energy vampires, that just taking your energy and then you have to recharge and get yourself back up to track. Yeah. And what I figured out is that it's very important to have your, in a way, not only to always recharge your energy, but also to protect it. So against these vampires. And this can also be like task you're doing that draining your energy because you hate doing them, or and it's all the way you look at them. And so in a way you can set up like an energy protection bubble to protect your energy, or you can even like set boundaries, energetic boundaries, and say, I set my energetic boundaries here, and then these energy vampires, they will figure out they can't suck your energy off again. And as you said, when you change your energy, or you set up such an energy boundary, then these people start treating you differently because you're different, right? And that they can't take your energy anymore, and maybe either you're not interesting for them anymore, or they they want to change you back. So you will see that your environment changes as soon as you and your energy changes.
Yeah, I agree with that. That as soon as you change your energy, everything else changes because people feel it and people feel how they can talk to you. But I just want to give audience an advice that they should not be afraid of energy vampires because they are really cool tools to recharge your energy, to feel better. And people usually don't do that intentionally. They don't even know they are doing this. So don't blame them, don't complain about them because your life is your responsibility and there are so many great tools you can help yourself if you have conversation like that.
Exactly. I think it's just important that you're aware that this person is draining your energy, and then you can set up this boundary. And and as you said, most of them, they don't do it intentionally.
Yes, I agree with that. Um, so I want to talk a little bit about the term that you use in your book, Change Your Energy, Change Your Life. You use term like your personal energy is your own perfume. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yes, I love this term, right? And because it's a way makes, as we said before, like energy work should also be joy and fun, and it's like the imagination that you're sprinkling. You know, you're very special, or the energy you wanna go out into the world onto yourself, right? And what I mean with this is I think quite everybody knows these moments when you're really having a good day and you're getting up like full of energy. You're looking forward to the day, and then you go out and catch the bus, and the bus driver is especially waiting for you and opening the door again, and everybody is smiling and making you a compliment, and your boss, you know, says, "Oh, well, you know." Appreciates your project in front of all the other staff. You know, we all know these days when really everything is kind of a run. And this is just because of your energy, because you just go out the way you are, and you're just, you know, having this wonderful and amazing energy, and people are reacting, as you said before. And on the other side, we also have, like, everybody experience bad days when everything went kind of wrong. And what I'm saying here is, and I know sometimes it's hard, but everything that is in your life has something to do with you and your energy. And if there are some things you don't want to have anymore, or you want other people being different to you, you need to change, and you need to change your energy. And that sometimes it's still sometimes hard for me to look at things, because it's so much easier to blame others for what's happening in your life. But when you take on responsibility and be honest, then you can, you know, figure out, okay, this is, if you look behind the scenes, why is this in my life? Or then you can, you know, solve it. And that's what I'm saying. You know, if you change your energy and you go out differently into the world, you put on a different perfume, and people will react differently to you. That's kind of the message of this sentence.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I totally agree because I remember the days when I complained a lot and my life didn't go the way I wanted, and the more I complained, the worse it got. But the moment when I start changing and say, okay, I'm taking responsibility, let's find solution. There's always solution to a problem, and get excited to find solution. That really, really changed everything in my life, and because I saw the world differently.
And there's also one thing, and you experienced that as well, is that, you know, the more you work on your energy, then of course you're having more energy. And because when you're having, most of your audience probably have a lot of energy, but you know, we have these moments when we have less energy, and then we're always in survival mode. And then you just, you know, you're limited, and everything you see around yourself, and also the solutions, they are limited. And as soon as you have more energy, of course your whole, you know, view and scope broadens up, and then you see so many more opportunities and also solutions to things that are here, and you even have the energy to execute them, and that gives you a certain point, a certain, yeah, power, because you feel empowered, you can handle it, and that makes life so much easier.
Thank you so much for the great interview. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us. And before we wrap up this interview, I just want to ask a very specific question. Considering Europe's current energy crisis, and I'm asking this question because you're one of top people in Switzerland in the electrical industry. So I really want to know what we can learn from that crisis that we can implement on our own personal energy.
Oh wow, that's a very good one. I love it. And the thing is, yes, actually, especially during because of the crisis, I found out there are a lot of similarities between electric energy and our personal energy. And the message what I've learned from the crisis, in a way, it's so similar what we see in society at the moment, because we are so depending on electric energy. If we're really honest with us, and that's why I think why people were so much afraid during the crisis, if the whole system breaks down, our social life breaks down, because, there probably almost no internet, communication will be difficult, you can't even go pay in a shop, you can't, without electricity, not even, your toilet wouldn't even function anymore. So we are kind of very dependent here. And I think the crisis was the first thing that we were aware of, how important electric energy is in our social life. And on the contrary, if you look at your personal energy, in a way, if you look into the corporate world especially, it's the same. There are so many people having a burnout. So what means burnout? It's just you don't have energy anymore. So in a way, it's similar, and in a way, it shows to me that we are not taking enough care. We are not, giving the importance to our personal energy, and this is kind of also a sign here to watch out, be aware, and not only, put more gas in all the gas storages in Germany and Austria and worldwide, to be prepared for this energy crisis, but all, to look after your own energy, and especially in times of crisis, and especially when you're a woman, or if you're a mom, you are the most important pillar of your family. And so many things depend on you, and especially moms, we are always tending to giving our energy, but yeah, it's good, but you always need to recharge and make sure that your personal energy is really top, and that these storage are filled as well. And I think for me the message is, yes, we managed this crisis, and it's not 100% over, but we did very well, because especially Germany was very well prepared. And on the other side, you make sure that you are prepared as well, and so you don't even get into a crisis, and recharge every day.
Thank you so much for sharing such a powerful message with our audience. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for sharing your expertise, and thank you so much for all your wisdom you shared today.
Oh, thank you so much. And I just have one question to you, because you're the yeah, I can say you're not an expert. You're really kind of the master of yeah, shedding light on energy healers and people working with energy. So do you have also like a recommendation how we could use the energy to be more visible and in the world?
Yes, actually, the thing that I would love to share with everybody is that together we are stronger and more powerful, and together we can change the world. And this is why I create this Shiro world, to support amazing healers around the world to do the work they do, to give them voice, to give them a chance to speak about the work they do, to give to teach audience why is it so important to take care of your personal energy and live your best life. And this is the best way that I can give it to everybody. If whoever wants to join us, I really welcome everybody to join the Shiro world and Shiro club, because this is my way to support energy healers, to give them voice, to teach them how they can share their message with the world and how they can change this world, and how we can do it together. Because I realized when I worked with the clients, I realized there are so many clients and just one little me. And if I want to help others, we have to work together. And that was my message that I got, that if I really want to make a big changes in this life, I need to really help others, that they can do the work they do, so we can together change the world. And that, yeah, that's the reason why I create the Shiro World and Shiro Club, and to support amazing gifted and talented healers, and to spread the word about this work, because so many people still don't know what energy healing is, and why we have to work on ourselves, and how an energy healer can help them. And this is why I'm so so passionate about this work, because it changed my life, it changed my family's life, and I saw amazing changes in my client's life. And that's the reason we need more of people like more people like you. We need more Shiros, and because when we heal, our families heal too, and there's a huge ripple effect in society. And that's the message I want to give to people.
Well, you definitely need to send me the link. Yeah, I think it's so powerful. I fully agree with you. And I think, yeah, any energy healer is so powerful, but together we all can make an impact. And I think it's amazing that you're setting up this platform, and it's so well needed.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Cornelia, for being here today. Thank you for the work you do. And for everybody else who's listening to us, keep working on yourself, because the world does need that love and light inside of you more than ever. I'm sending you lots of love and big hug. Bye for now.